Hi, this is Doug with A2 Engineering, and today I'm excited to go over my emergency food supply here in this bucket. So, in the event of an extended power outage, plague, pestilence, war, even apocalypse, my family and I have about a month of food here to live off of. Now, I was talking to my wife about making this video, and she was like, well, why would you tell the world that we have an emergency food supply, right? If shit hits the fan, then everyone's going to be swarming to our house. Well, I said, hey, if somebody tries to steal our food, I'll just take old Betsy here and add them to our food supply. Yeah, so there's a lot of particulars to this system. It might just look like your normal 5-gallon hardware store bucket full of, well, we'll see what's inside, but there's actually a lot of particulars to this system to make it last as long as possible. I packed this bucket 5 years ago, and I actually kind of forgot what's in there. I know roughly speaking, but that's the purpose of this video. Unbucketing of the survival food. If you're not, it's a play on words. It's like if you've seen unboxing videos on YouTube, like where people open up like new iPhones and stuff. So I guess if you have to explain the joke, it's not that funny, but the unbucketing. So right off the bat, you can see there's this weird glob of hot glue on the top with a Band-Aid looking thing underneath. So like, what's that all about? Well, one of the principles of having a long-lasting emergency food supply is that, well, you want it to be long-lasting. You want it to you don't want to just put it in a cool, dry place and have it last 10, 20 years. So my idea was like, since oxygen is one of the main culprits as far as spoiling food, right? That's what like bacteria need, and oxidation is one of the main it's one of the main reasons that food goes bad. So why don't I just suck out all the air, and then it won't be a problem. There won't be any air in there. It'll be a vacuum seal. So this was when I didn't realize the limitations of vacuum sealing. So I sealed this thing, and it did take a few months, but it eventually filled back up with air. So air, no matter how hard you try, nature abhors a vacuum, as some dead scientist once said. Nonetheless, I think it was a cool enough idea that I'm gonna just demonstrate what it looks like. So first, just gonna drill a tiny hole in the top. I'm gonna take one of these Band-Aid looking things. I put it right over the hole, obviously. I take a tool called a pump and seal. I use this to vacuum seal coffee and food, other kinds of food once in a while. Very simple and effective. It's like a bike pump, but in reverse. So this takes a bit of pumping, but you'll start to see the bucket suck in on itself. Actually, I can smell the stuff in there. I can smell like the oatmeal and rice and stuff. I can probably do a little bit more, but this was the point where I took a hot glue gun and just a little dab will do you right over the Band-Aid. The Band-Aid, it holds by itself, but it's just another layer of sealing. But you can you can see how the bucket starts sealing in on itself. It's kind of cool, right? I can probably do it more, but you get the idea. As I said, air will find a way to get in, even if it's like one little molecule per hour. I mean, if it's long enough, it's gonna, well, not, you know, faster than that probably, but if it's longer than that, it'll eventually just fill back up with air. Now this is a problem because it turns out vacuum sealing is actually worse. Like I could come back and seal it again in a few months when it fills back up, but then I just keep on introducing fresh air into the system over time. Now I did account for this, as we will see, but nonetheless the whole idea with vacuum sealing did not work out, so live and learn. Now it's about time to crack this baby open. I put the lid on and it has this zip tie thing here. So we'll toss that. Whew, it's been a while. It's been 5 years. Let's see what's in here. Can you hear that hiss? All right, well, yeah, before I get into the contents here, another detail I did to make this thing be as sealed as possible is I took some Vaseline, you know, petroleum jelly, whatever you want to call it, and liberally coated the black rubber seal that goes around the inside of this lid. Now, yeah, you get the idea. Again, before I get to the contents, I put in these little hand warmers. So these are, you can get these at, you know, everywhere, like gas stations. You see them next to the candy bars in winter, you know, REI, outdoor sports, if you're not familiar. How they work is they're filled with little iron shavings and maybe like another metal like magnesium or something. And what they do is cause a chemical reaction similar to a battery when it's exposed to air. So it's basically just rusting on itself when it's exposed to oxygen, and that's how it creates the heat. Now, why would I put these in here? Well, I figure every little stray oxygen molecule that comes in, I put these on the top, and it'll basically eat the molecule. We'll basically turn the iron into iron oxide. So essentially absorbing that molecule so it's not free to act on whatever microbes are in the bucket along with it. I don't know if it works, but hey, it's a creative idea, right? So we can put these to the side. In fact, if these start warming up, I'm going to put these to the side. That means the system kind of worked, right? Because yeah. All right, so first off, I have some tubettini macaroni here. I'm not sure why I chose this, but I put a few bags in here. Looks like I have some Goya red kidney beans, 2 bags of those. I have some instant non-fat dry milk. I wouldn't want to try that. I have some pearl couscous in here, and there's something. There's something a little slimy in here. I don't know what that's about. Ew. Maybe that's the milk. Oh yeah, there's lots of moisture in here for some reason. That is odd. I did not expect that. I think it's just water, but interesting. So I have some organic steel cut oats in here. I purposely chose steel cut instead of flat rolled because I figured these would just last longer than the flat rolled. Look kind of delicate, for lack of a better word. Seems like they would go bad easier. I have some organic cane sugar. Yeah, good, sure. Looks like I have a bag of gold parboiled enriched long grain rice. Also good. Or I should say 2 bags of that. Interesting. So definite moisture problem in here. And I tried to account for that, as I'll go over shortly, but I guess I didn't. I've got some black-eyed peas here. 2 bags. Looks like I did like basically 2 bags of everything, or close to it. And ew, God, red lentils. These went bad. There's a lot of. Looks like the moisture got to these. These will not be packing in again. Eugh. Yeah, 2 bags of these. They're both out of there. All right. Yeah, so I am really surprised that there's so much moisture in here. That's quite a shock. So maybe there was some latent moisture in one of the items that I put in. Could be the sugar or the milk or the rice. Now, I tried to account for that by putting a bunch of calcium chloride in the bottom of the bucket. So you can see all this white stuff, and it is thoroughly soaked. So I think it picked up most of the moisture, but still, it is very humid in here. Kind of bummed out. I did not expect that. I followed lots of other people's tutorials, and I came up with my own ideas, like the iron oxide stuff. But what are you gonna do? Live and learn. I'm gonna have to think about this and see what happened. That's a bummer. Well, that's all that's in this bucket. It's all, as you see, dried kind of food that's meant to last long regardless of how you store it. Even if this was out in the open, I would expect these things to last at least a few years. Looks like the bucket may have actually shortened the life of some of these things because of the moisture problem. But besides the bucket, besides the sealed bucket, you also have other options. So canned goods typically last a long time. I got salt here. Looks like I got cut green beans. I got two cans of green beans, peaches, pears, pineapples, sliced peaches again, more green beans, more green beans, sweet peas, pears again, and more green beans. Hey, I didn't say survival would be fun, but at least you'll survive. Yeah, that's it for my emergency food supply. As I said, packed it 5 years ago. Besides this, another pro tip is like anytime you go to like a discount store, I sweep up all the honey. Honey will last forever, like literally forever, almost literally, like thousands of years potentially. Maple syrup, that's good too. Dark chocolate seems to last forever if you put it in the freezer. I've had pieces in the freezer for years and they still taste fine. The expiration date might be like 1 year, but well, so that's about it. If I can think of the reason why I had this moisture problem, I'll put it in the description. Otherwise, I'll leave you to it. So I hope this was informative to you. I hope it inspires you to create your own little emergency food supply. You never know. I mean, a few years ago we had a storm here in Connecticut that knocked out power for a week, right? What if that was a month? Like, what would happen? So these things just give you a little peace of mind. It's like for all of this, I didn't spend more than $100. I think it was $80 or something. Well, that was a few years ago, so now it's going to be like that. That equals like $120. But yeah, if you like this video, please like it, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.